Okay, so good evening. This is me, Bong, and I'll be casting the third episode in my daily ladder game. So I'm actually casting this game in advance because next week I'm gonna have a lot of tests and I have to deal with those tests before I can actually continue with my daily routine. Well, it's not actually daily. I just started, but you get the point. So shout outs. So shout out to Abigail, yeah, or I like to call her Abby. So she's actually helped me with a lot of things, and especially with Photoshop, because I'm such a nerd at Photoshop. It's like I don't know what to do with it. I mean, most people they're able to like create awesome pictures and awesome stuff with their Photoshop, but I'm just like I don't know how. So yeah, so I'm very thankful to her for being there to always help me with my projects. Well, not actually projects, but stuff that I want to do. So yeah, thank you, and there's a shout out to you. So I'm actually here spawning as a red Protoss, and my opponent is gonna be a blue Terran called Monstar. So this is actually the first time I have casted a Terran versus Protoss because I haven't had plenty of games where I'm playing against a Terran. So I'm very excited to cast this one because this one is actually pretty close, and I was almost beaten this game, but I was able to pull it out just in time. So I'm going up with my regular strategy. Usually I'm going with a 4-gate rush. Then I'm gonna tech up into something fancy like Void Raids, Phoenix, or even Immortals and Colossus. So my opponent is actually pretty good, and you can tell that he's good because he killed my scouting probe pretty fast, and he's trying to get his wall in as soon as possible. And actually he's going for a 2 rack. So what this is saying to me, but I was not able to scout it since he killed off my probe. I'm actually sending another probe just to see what he's doing, because if you're not able to scout in StarCraft 2, you're gonna be defeated. Very easy. So actually in this observer camp, I actually see he has 3 racks going down. So this is gonna be a very early rush, and hopefully, fortunately, I'm also going for a rush build, so this kind of like balances out. So it's gonna make sure that I'm not gonna lose to any early push because I'm also going for a rush strategy. So actually, I'm pretty stupid because I actually dropped down a pylon, and which trapped my probe. So I'm gonna have to cancel that pylon and just make another one. So that's gonna be a waste of time. That's a lot of time wasted. So I'm gonna be supply blocked for quite a long time actually. So as you can see, my opponent has his 4 racks up, and he's actually making Marines already from those racks. So that's gonna be very dangerous to deal with. So I know he has 4 racks because I've actually scouted it. I see that it has 4. So I'm going to drop down my gateways as quickly as possible so that I'll be able to make enough units and to stop any kind of rush attack in the early game. So I don't think if you noticed, but a Marine Marauder combo is very effective against Protoss. Marine Marauder can just wipe out any gateway units in the Protoss. So gateways, all these units here, they can completely be countered by a Marine Marauder ball. So it's just a mass Marine Marauder, but it's very effective. So what I'm actually trying to do is a very defensive move. You see, I'm making my buildings into something like a great wall, so that if ever my opponent can come into my base, it'll have to go way around to attack my probes. So that I'll be protecting my probes, and that my buildings will be getting as much coverage as they can from my pylons. As you can see, my pylons interconnect. So even if he picks off one pylon, it won't power down my buildings. So I can still make even if he's trying to get rid of my pylons. So I'm actually making 3 zealots because I'm really afraid of this early push. And my opponent has quite a few marines already, but he's actually making a lot of tech labs. And yeah, it's tech labs. So that's just saying to me that he's going for a mass marauder. I don't know that, but I know when I scouted that he has 4 barracks. So that's very dangerous. So yeah, he has actually a marine here at his rocks at the back door because he wants to know if I'm gonna do any cheese or any dirty play like going for the back door. And because these rocks are very exposed, and as a Protoss you can really exploit these rocks and just go around the main of the front. So here I am. I'm gonna push out with my 4-gate rush. It's not actually much of a force, but hopefully I'm going to test this front door whether or not it's good. So I'm actually bringing a probe along because it's very important to bring a probe if you're a Protoss, because you want to get down a pylon in the high ground, because in the high ground you can just summon units if you have a pylon there and just reinforce the units that need help. So yeah, I'm gonna get that down, and actually I have 700 minerals. I don't know why I haven't used it. So there I am gonna make, I think, what is my probe doing? I think he's gonna drop down, yeah, a robotics bay. The reason I dropped this down because I was planning to go, I planned to go into a war prison and just ninja units there. And I'm also gonna time it along with my rush attack. So here I am, I'm warping in more units so that I will be able to attack and exploit his front door, which is hopefully not as strong as it looks like. So here I am, I'm just waiting for another stalker, so I have 4 stalkers. So I'm going to be pushing out with this force. So hopefully my sentries will be able to prevent a lot of the damage I'll receive from the units that my opponent has. I'm also waiting for my robotics facility to build up. So in this case, there's nothing to lose, and my opponent has quite a lot of marauders already. If you can see here, his production tab, he actually has a marauder and a factory going down. So he's going definitely for that tech build. So I'm not sure what he's going for yet, but 4 barracks, that's going to be very hard. So here I am, I'm pushing my, I'm testing his front door. So it's a very poor micro on my part, because I should have pulled out when I lost the 2 zealots from my original number of like 6, I guess. So I'm trying to reinforce it as much as possible. I see my opponent is moving out, and I see it right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to intercept his units and just going to try to separate them off with the use of my forces. Here I am, I'm trying to make my move, yeah, and I won it off. I'm able to separate a good amount of these units, but I still lost a lot of, I think I lost only 1 zealot in that encounter, so it's a pretty good trade. So here I am, I'm at the high ground, and I'm also warping in more units while I'm fighting. So that shows you how important this proxy pylon is for any attack. So he sees here that he is not going to be able to win this battle, and I'm just trying to cut off as many units as I can. So we actually lost like 2 marauders in that encounter, and I lost only like I lost no units. So that just shows how effective a proxy pylon is. So I'm just warping in 2 more stalkers and 2 more zealots. I want to make sure that he doesn't have anything to go out of his base. So he's actually trying to move into his base, because I actually reduced his army to quite a low number, and he's still making more marauders though, so that's very hard to deal with. He's also researching Stimpack, concussive shells, and siege tech, so that's gonna be very hard to break through once he reaches that point. So what I'm trying to do is actually I'm gonna snipe off his tech lab. So because tech labs take quite a while to build, and when you snipe them off, he'll have to rebuild them again. So there he goes, he's trying to stem and take out my zealots. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to back off, and hopefully I can reinforce it this time, but I wasn't able to. Yeah, there I am trying to reinforce it with 4 more zealots. So hopefully I'll be able to hold it off, but I don't think so, because he just has too many marauders on his side. So I'm just trying to pick off as many as I can with what I have left. So unfortunately I'm not going to be able to win this battle. And I'm in actually a very bad shape, because I may have my expansion up and running, but I don't have any probes saturating it. So yeah, I just got like the probes now. So I want to see how many units I have. Yeah, I have 33 probes and he has 21. So that just shows now how effective the harass is in making him just produce a lot of units. So what he's doing actually is he's trying to scout around, but he didn't see my probe here because this grass blocks away vision. It's like a fog of war. You can't see the tower. So what I'm trying to do now is I'm trying to ninja a few units in his main, because I know his units are outside. If I can get in, I can probably do some harass and he won't be able to do anything about it. So it's here, it's opposition here, but I'm actually trying to tech up because I know it's gonna be difficult once he gets a siege tank. There's plenty of marauders. So I'm dropping 2 more gateways so I can reinforce faster. And I'm getting an observer just to make sure that I can scout him before he does anything funny. So yeah, supposed to warp this into warp gate soon. I wonder when I'll be checking up. So maybe I'm just focusing on my expansion and trying to get it as probed up as possible. While at the same time, he's not really doing anything except building units. Yeah, he has 2 siege tank out. So this is gonna be a very dangerous force if he decides to push out now, because I won't have anything to deal with it. So right now I just decided, I should resume my attack, but I see that he already has units coming in, so I have to back up my probe as fast as possible, and hopefully he won't be able to kill it. So yeah, this is his units. It's a very scary army, because if you're just going mass stalker and you're going against a mass marauder, you are gonna definitely lose. So I know he's coming, so I'm immediately dropping another robotics bay and the Twilight Council. So